What's a fever? Anybody know here how physiology works? People discovered? What's the point of a fever? As a reaction, body's reaction to infection. Yeah, a fever apparently is a way to help, denature and neutralize certain pathogens in the body. Different microorganisms can't handle even higher temperatures like that. Your body could survive, I don't know, a fever of 102, but certain germs will get zapped by that, right? Hopefully that's what's going on, even though the fever itself eventually could hurt you. So what we're undergoing, let's say in a few years, I remember when the Intifada started back in 2000, that's a disease. And it's a punishment as a disease. It's there to show us what's in store for Klal Yisrael if we don't keep the essential commandment to drive the enemy out of the country. If you do not drive away your enemy, as the Torah says, so you know what you'll end up with? You'll end up with terror attacks. So we're not right now in the midst of a fever. Right now, we're in the midst of, like I keep telling people, not only is there the war going on all these different fronts, there's an eternal intifada going on, which doesn't get enough attention. Although there are enemies who are saying this, globalize the intifada. You know that America, just yesterday, I predicted this, although I still have my prediction over here, 10,000. Kapam, Aseret Alafim, I wrote over here on the blackboard. And I stand by that prediction. So, there was some terror attacks. It wasn't the largest scale, but you see they have the capabilities. They're just testing the waters now, and they're going to ratchet it up, especially in advance of the regime change in America. So we don't keep that commandment, and this is how we get punished. And now there's an intifada going on, and we're not really dealing with it the proper way. So this hit not kut, the Gaza disengagement, that was an experiment. An experiment for the controllers, the people pulling the strings, and it worked for them because it showed that the people go along with the army with any orders, no matter what. And the Intifada was also an experiment. It showed that Jews would not fight back. China virus was an experiment, and it showed that we were all sheep for the most part. So now we're sort of sick with the national Wuhan flu. Am Yisrael is sick with a terrible disease. Jews are dying, and they didn't have to die, right? Yet we have so many chances, and we're not taking advantage of that. There was a thing that came up. They said there was some fighting in a Gaza hospital. It's almost like a joke. If you want to know where the bad guys are, they're in the hospital. But here's the other thing. There was Jerusalem Post just reporting yesterday. Hamas's fighting ranks, its army basically, is growing. They're regrouping and raising a new army. How are they doing such a thing? The answer is just like the IDF does recruitment. The IDF is, for better or for worse, okay, I think sometimes for worse, but it is the army of the people of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. And even if it doesn't necessarily represent their highest values, it's still composed of their people. The Jewish people don't have a different army other than the IDF. The Gaza are the modern incarnation of Nazi Germany. They have said this very clearly. That's what they are dedicated to do, destroying the Jewish people. For the most part. I'm sure there are some righteous Gentiles even in Gaza. So they're the ones who are producing Hamas, which is basically the army of Gaza. Yeah, it doesn't look like a regular army. They don't wear uniforms. And they have a lot less resources, but they have a lot of heart. And they recruit their fighters from the Gazan population. So as long as the Gazan population is there, they say, rockets were shot out of some neighborhood which is residential at Israel. So instead of the Israelis having the ability to just destroy the place where the rockets came from, they have to give a day's warning. We're going to now destroy that place. Of course, it gives a time for those who fired the rockets to move their rocket launcher and all their supplies are all, mixed with the population and then move. So you're not going to catch those people. And because you're leaving the so-called aliens around, you are leaving them their pool of recruitment. You're leaving them with the capacity to raise more army. So this is just a joke how this is running. We are sick. The nation of Israel, I wouldn't consider this a cold. Like I said, this is full-blown China virus. If a national body can be infected with the China virus and be in bed for 2 years with it, that's what we're having right now, and we're not learning. So what are we going to do? It's actually kind of difficult.